Alright, here is the last of the videos from the week 11 test. This is concept 9.2, and you can see looking up in the corner here, this is a C problem. So a C problem means it was its last time on the regular test, but you still have an intervention opportunity. In fact, you can have several intervention opportunities. I can make one of these up for you. You just need to practice and then show me that you know how to do it. So we have two angles we need to find. We need to find A, we need to find B. There are several ways that you can do this. I'll show you what I would recommend, and then if you have something else that works, you go for it. When I look at this triangle, and I always keep an eye on where I see the triangles, because there's a rule about triangles. Triangles total 180 degrees. And if you're not to the point where you have that memorized, write that on a piece of paper right now. And then write it on your mirror. Look at it while you brush your teeth. Triangles total 180 degrees. B is part of that triangle. So if I had 40 and I had this missing, I'm going to call that X, that missing angle, I could go ahead and figure out what B is because triangles total 180 degrees. Well, when I look at where my X is that I just drew, it's part of that straight line. That arc that I just drew in orange, that total is 180 degrees. So if I take the 20 that I know and add the 45 that I know and get 65 degrees, and then take 180 and subtract the 65 degrees, 5, I had to borrow from that, so 7, so that's a 5, 7 minus 6 is a 1, bring down a 1. This is 115 degrees. That's pretty much a magic number because that also gives me A. X and A, X and A, that's a terrible A, X and A are vertical angles. So since they are vertical angles, having X gives me A. So now I know, I'm going to take it way over here, I know A is 115 degrees. All right, now I need B. Well, if A is 115 and this other angle is 40, then I've got 115 plus 40, that's 155, and since triangles total 180, if I do 180 minus 155, borrow again, 10 minus 5 is 5, 7 minus 5 is 2, 1 minus 1 is 0. This works out to be 25 degrees, and that's the measure of angle B. So anytime you're solving these, you can't get B directly without doing some other work. You can't just look at the information they give you and say, oh, B has to equal. You have to find some other angles like we found a 115 degree angle. Now, so you've seen the solution. Now let me just tell you, somebody in another class to get A, they didn't do X as the vertical, they did this. They said, well, that's 45 because it's a vertical right there. And that's 20 because it's a vertical right there. And so then A was 180 minus 45 minus 20. It's still 115. It doesn't matter how you get that, whether you solve this one, because then you'd say A and X are vertical, and that would give you your triangle. So you're not going to have this on any more of the weekly tests, but you're going to have intervention opportunities. Go through some of this. If you want some practice, come to me. I can make you some practice on this. You can do this stuff. You just have to take time and treat it like a puzzle. Okay, be sure you bring your questions to class, and I will see you there.